Alright, the talk we need to have about Dark and Darker. If this game wants to continue to go anywhere and to keep its player base, some things obviously need to change. This wipe has kind of been a major red flag. Once again, it seems to be happening over and over. And yeah, let's dive into it. How to fix Dark and Darker. How do we do it? We're on patch 84, or whatever you're calling it. Hot fix. Alright, the first things first. You need to tune the numbers and you need to have actual statistics. Like it seems to be that they're not pulling any statistics. They don't seem to realize what classes are doing what, who's winning what fights. It doesn't seem to be something that, and I don't have any proof of this, I don't really know, but it seems like they're just kind of like randomly changing things almost, just based on one guy's feeling and you're not having any actual input. And it seems to be a bit of a problem. And it just leads to this major overtuned swinging of different things. Like rogues suddenly have double jump without the move speed penalty all of a sudden. Why not tune it to -7 or -5 first before doing all that? Why just down to 0 move speed out of nowhere? That's just one example. Why is Blow of Corruption hit so hard all of a sudden? They tuned its magic damage scaling way up. Why not just slightly tune it up? So that's just another thing. And the cleric's another thing. Why is Smite Smite? Why is Smite so good all of a sudden? What did they do to it? I don't even remember. But they did something like that with cleric. Like they made some of their skills completely useless. Some of their spells. The buffs only last 8 seconds, which isn't long enough, and yet they make Bless last 30 seconds. Why not make them 15? And and they all went from like major to minor. Like all the other buffs were 30 seconds, they went down to 8, and they're just doing way too major big overtunes or undertunes. This seems to happen every patch. There's something every patch where they're just like, oh, this thing's just like way different now. And we saw it with the barbarians. What is it, the bloodthirst thing? Not the weapon, I can't remember. Yeah, anyway, like that used to actually heal decently, and they just made it like not heal at all. So it's just like, why didn't you just tune it down slightly if it was healing so much? Why completely got the healing? It's just over and over. They got to stop this. They need to get actual statistics. They need to slightly change things. Now I will say, with the overall slight nerf of most weapons that were hitting too hard, they did tune down those numbers just a little bit, and that seemed actually decent. So there's one thing. Alright, let's talk about the classes. There's class issues. Now, like, the game's kind of unplayable right now. You think, I'm going to go into High Roller and loot pile. So you loot a pile, you get all loaded up, and what's waiting like right outside the door? A rogue who's just sitting there the whole time, and they stab you, and you die, and you lose everything. Lose all your hard work, and they just did nothing. They literally just went into the lobby and waited outside a door the entire time. They don't even have to do anything, and they just kind of auto win because they're way overtuned. They hit so hard and so fast, and they 3-shot you no matter how much PDR you have, no matter how many hit points. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm talking about High Roller, but once they're geared, they're stupidly unbeatable unless they're playing completely wrong. Like they get caught out in distance from a ranger that they never get close to you or something. But that should never happen because they have hide and double jump, and that's just one thing. And druid's kind of the same. I don't know if druid's as bad as rogue. I would rather fight a druid any day than a rogue these days. So they keep doing this, and like I guess barbarians, another thing. They're all of a sudden so weak, mostly because other classes got buffed, I think, and just all their weapons got nerfed pretty much, so they're having some trouble now. They just keep doing this. This kind of ties in with this major overtuning, undertuning things. It's just going to lead to some classes being completely broken and others like unplayable and not even work. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. Like obviously cleric's an issue. Longsword fighter is an issue. It doesn't even work anymore. You can't even parry things for the most part. It barely works. And I don't know if it's server issues or hitbox issues, but it just doesn't work quite well, so it's just unreliable. You're taking just a big risk even trying to block something. You're either just going to get headshot when it looks like you should have blocked, or you're going to block something that's like, huh, that wasn't even there. I don't know how I blocked that. It's over and over. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Hover loot. You need hover loot or something. The looting system is so clunky. Now, it's not that bad in dungeon. I'm more talking about the lobby. Like, when you need to sell a whole inventory of jewels and you just want them all to go, you should be able to do that easily. 1 or 2 clicks, but you just gotta, like, click and click and click, and it just takes ages, and it's just so clunky. We need some kind of hover loop. What people are doing is they're bringing in clicker macros and stuff just to, like, manage inventory in the lobby, because it's that clunky. And if you ever had to move gold from, like, one character to another, it just takes forever. Or when your inventory gets piled with gold from selling stuff and you have to move it, it takes forever. It's not good. It's not good. It just takes way too many clicks. So we really need some kind of improvement to that. And hover loop, like Rust has, just some minor implementations of it in the lobby would be amazing. So we need that even just to transfer inventory or to sell. If you just hold down a key and hover to move everything to the sale, move everything to your stash, that would be amazing. We need something like that. All right, let's move on to the next one. We need the goblin back for HR. Like, nobody cares about the gear under 124. When you go under 124, you're bringing in, like, stuff you don't care about anyway. HR is where you bring in all your good stuff. So that's where you actually need the goblin. The goblin doesn't really do anything anymore. So you might as well not have it if you're not going to have it for HR. Because, yeah, that's it. That's where the valuable gear is. That's where your expensive kits are. That's where you would obviously need the goblin. So I don't know what they're thinking with that. Or maybe they just have an issue where they can't implement it. I don't know. We'll get to that later. So that's all. There's just an issue with that. Alright, let's move to the next one. Fog of War versus no Fog of War. Some people love it, some people hate it. You find people on both sides of the fence. I think it should be in the game. I mean, you've already implemented it, you might as well keep it in. It's kind of cool, it brings back exploration, but there shouldn't be just like no help at all. You need to do something, alright? You should let players, when you're queuing up for a lobby, you should be able to maybe check some boxes that say, hey, pay an extra 25 gold for the fortune teller to reveal this room or that room, or red portals or something. We need some sort of option to reveal there is Fog of War, like at least the boss room. If you're trying to go boss, maybe you can pay 50 gold or 100 gold to reveal boss rooms or certain boss rooms or whatever it may be. We need something like that. Then at least you could say, hey, there's Fog of War, I want to fight a boss and I don't want to spend the entire day looking for it just to find it once. They could just pay some gold and it's revealed. Or it could be an item or something along those lines. Or maybe there could be spells that do it, kind of like Warcraft 3's Farseer does. There's got to be something like that. That would be really great. I think that's a good middle ground. That's obviously my opinion, but I think that's what needs to happen personally. And the Fog of War versus no Fog of War is definitely causing some rifts in the community, I would say. And I think, yeah, just something like that would be cool. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Alright. Just put bosses in 224, in the 224 HR lobbies, because they don't drop artifacts anyway, so nobody's summoning them there, or if they are, they're trying to use some glitch to make it drop artifacts. Supposedly, right now, I don't know, hopefully they fix this, or I don't know, I haven't even confirmed, I've just heard a rumor, that if you go into crypts and you increase your gear score first, I guess by looting in the above module, the runes, the bosses will actually drop artifacts. I don't know, I haven't confirmed that. I don't know if anyone has. Probably, but that's a bug. So if they're not going to drop artifacts, don't make us pay to summon them. Let people practice those HR ones in the 224s. Your gear's not that great in 224. You really have to limit some things. You can barely bring in weapons if you're bringing in like a full armor kit. And you can't even make a good full armor kit. It's got to be mostly blues. You can't even hardly bring in epics. So yeah, if it's not going to drop artifacts, I guess the whole point is don't make us pay to summon. So that's weird. That's just weird. And maybe that can be left off the list because they're still tuning that. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's move on to the next one. Hire good programmers, for God's sakes. Jesus. Like, this goes back, this covers everything. Like, can they even implement this reveal thing properly without good programmers? Can they even implement the goblin correctly? Can they even implement hover loot properly? Can they even tune things right and fix bugs properly? You need to hire some good programmers. What are you, a one-person team? What is happening here? Like, things take a long time to get fixed or changed, and when they do, they're usually broken. Things are way too clunky. Players are getting frustrated. It takes way too long to fix obvious little things or make quality of life changes. I've heard that they have like 80 people on their team. I don't know, give or take. And what are they all doing? They're dealing with a lawsuit. Screw the lawsuit. No one cares. Pay it, don't pay it, whatever. You're not going to make any money. Your company's going under unless you fix these core things anyway. Alright, that's a hot take, but you need to hire good programmers. Absolutely. Alright, and this segues into the next one. Test-driven development. This is just good programming practice. And it just comes down to this. Every time a patch comes out, all kinds of things are broken, new features don't work, you stash or you drop a weapon and for some reason your character stows it away in the animation instead. You need to test this stuff, and you need to have some kind of system of testing. So you're not going to find good programmers because they're going to join the team and see that you just like try to release broken stuff and don't actually test or care about the code anyway, and they're just going to quit, and you're not going to be able to find good programmers. So you need to find some good method of testing this stuff before it comes out, and maybe that's a test server, or maybe that's just finding a proper test system, whether it just be a checklist of, hey, I did this however many times and it failed this many times, or none. You know, that's all it is. You just need to make sure things don't fail before you release them. It's really obvious. It's like one of the first things you learn as a software developer is to obviously test your stuff. Build test suites to do that. With game development, it's a little looser, so I get it, but they obviously need something. Alright. Let's just talk about this quickly. This is just an annoying thing that's been bugging me for many seasons. Why do we have memory capacity on Viking swords? Why do we have memory capacity on all kinds of weapons that casters can't even use anyway? Why do we have spell casting speed on Viking sword? What are we doing? Why? Can you just like adjust that properly? They're obviously spending time tuning the weapons a little bit. They lower the damage numbers, and they changed the enchantments on a lot of stuff, like +1 all changed to different things. Why do you still have memory capacity on things where any class that could use it could never use memory capacity? Same with spellcasting speed. What? It just tells us that you're not really into your own game. Like, you're not even aware that you're putting completely dead enchants on weapons for multiple seasons in a row, and it's just mind-boggling. You guys, it's your game. Why don't you care about it? This is just a glaring red. I don't care about my own game, or I don't care about. Like, it just takes one guy on your entire team to look at it and make some adjustments, right? I mean, in theory, I don't know what your system behind all this is, but it's just another glaring thing that you don't seem to change. But meanwhile, you're doing all this random over-tuning of classes and under-tuning, and don't touch anything until you remove memory capacity and spellcasting speed from Viking Sword. And I'm saying Viking Sword, but I literally mean all the weapons, like Warhammer and all these, the Rapier. Why do these have spellcasting stuff on them when no spellcaster can use them? And you could say the Bard maybe for some of them, like the Arming Sword, but the Bard can never get memory capacity with that because he switches to an instrument to do his stuff, so it's still useless there. Alright, well that's it. Hope you've enjoyed these hot takes, I guess. Some of them are hot takes, but this is just some really obvious stuff that Dark and Darker needs to fix, Ironmace needs to fix for their game, if it's going to continue to be successful, and they don't want to just keep losing players. And fix all this, you'll get players. I guarantee you, pretty much. It's all glaring issues. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Leave some comments down below. What else is annoying you? What do you think of these? Am I right? Am I wrong? Alright. Peace out, guys.